Hi, I'm Alice Marques,
And I'm Tyleigha Nelson.
and today we're going to perform 14 different exercises for you. Bye!
Hope you enjoy.
This is Alice, and right now she's going to be performing a Glute-Ham raise exercise. And this exercise focuses primarily on the hamstrings. So first, Alice, what you want to do, you want to make sure that you sit up, and that as you come up, your heels press into the platform and you're engaging your glutes right away. So you want to make sure that you're flexing your glutes. Make sure that they're contracted and rise upwards, and you want to make sure that your spine stays neutral. And you see how she's not flexing her spine, she's not hyperextending her spine, she's staying neutral, making sure everything's straight at all times. Here's Tyleigha, and she's performing a prone leg curl, which focuses on the hamstring. So to start, we need to put our hips on the peak, at the peak of the machine, and we need to make sure that our feet is in dorsiflexion position, and she will flex.
Alice is now going to be performing Good Morning. First, she wants to make sure that her feet are hip width apart and that her knees are not flexed, that they are slightly bent. And as she lowers, she really wants to make sure that she's pushing her hips back and making sure she keeps her spine neutral, as well as her core engaged and knees not over the toes.
She will now perform a Romanian deadlift. She will start standing, and she needs to make sure that her core is engaged and her spine is neutral. And as she's lowering the weight, she needs to keep the weight close to her body. And she won't touch the floor with the weight.
This is Alice. She's going to be performing a back squat. So first you want to make sure that your knees are bent. You lift up the bar and come out from the platform. And then you want to stand, feet hip width apart. Have a slight bend to the knee. Make sure your knees are not over your toes. Keep your core engaged and stick out your glutes. You really want to make sure that your core is tight so that your back is not susceptible to any kind of injury. Great job, Alice.
So here's Tyleigha, and she's performing a reverse hyperextension that targets our glutes. So to start, we want to make sure that our hip bones are at the edge, and we want to keep our body parallel on the way up, and we want to go all the way down and all the way up and all the way down.
So this is Alice. She's going to be performing a step up. And what you want to do first, you want to make sure that your femur and your hip are aligned at the same level. And you want to make sure that your knee is not over your toes. And then when you step up, you want to make sure that when you come back down, you come back down on the same leg that you didn't step up first with.
Tyleigha is now performing a leg press. And first of all, she wants to make sure that her tailbone is touching the seat, is against the seat. And she has long legs, so she wants to put her feet higher on the platform. If you have a shorter leg, you want her feet lower. And now she will perform the exercise.
Alice is going to be performing a box squat. So first you want to make sure that the box that you were squatting on is at a good level so that you're not coming down too far. This box squat ensures that you squat parallel on each rep. Hip muscles must stay in an eccentric contraction to stop you on the way down. Great job, Alice.
Tyleigha is now performing a conventional deadlift, and she needs to make sure that her core is engaged and she has a neutral spine. She needs to make sure that her knees are not passing her toes, and also make sure that the weight is touching the floor.
Alice is going to be performing a lunge. First, you want to make sure that your step is quite a good distance away, just so you can get a really good lunge. And you want to make sure when you step that you're leading with your heel, and when you come back up, you're pushing off with your heel as well. Alice is going to be performing a split squat, which primarily focuses on the gluteus maximus and hamstrings on the lowering phase, and on the lifting phase, it focuses on the quadriceps. So first she's going to lunge forward and drop down to the floor, not touching the ground, but keeping her legs at a good distance apart. She's going to make sure that her knees doesn't come over her toes and that her spine stays neutral. Alice is going to be performing now a Bulgarian split squat. Difference is she puts one of her back legs up on a platform. You want to make sure the platform's not too high. It is leveled out with your height. She's going to make sure that the front leg is out far enough for her to drop down, keeping her knees not over her toes, as well as a neutral spine.
So Tyleigha is now performing a front squat that is focused on your quads. So first of all, you want to make sure that the bar is on your chest level and your toes are parallel, and your knees are not touching your toes. And you need to keep your core engaged. Good.